ready for takeoff.
We are cleared for takeoff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time to take flight in your community and in your life. This is Audio Airstrike.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Back from an extended break. This is Audio Airstrike. I'm Everett Hall-McNeill. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 190. We are 10 away from our 200th episode, and we have some special things planned for our 200th episode. Stay tuned for more information. Now, with that being said, I want to get right down to it and cut to the chase. We're going to sit over here and talk about it. I woke up this week pretty peculiar, and I noticed that Facebook was down, Instagram was down. I didn't have WhatsApp on my phone, but I heard that was down as well. And I heard people, kind of having social media withdrawal because, it's become an addiction now in this society. And everybody was asking, well, hey, is anybody's Instagram not working? Is anybody's Facebook not working? What is going on? What is happening? What is the deal? And me doing what I do as a podcaster, as a filmmaker, even I had those questions. Even I was sitting over here like, okay, is this going to be feasible for what I need to do? How am I going to navigate these highways and byways of success without social media? But I wasn't the only one that was thinking of this. There are tons of content creators. There are tons of people in the entertainment industry. There are tons of people that are not even involved in entertainment that use social media to help boost their business, their industry, and push it forward. There is over millions and millions of businesses that had these same questions that I had. And when you look at the situation, it is very telling about the shutdown and the shutdown that took place over this week involving Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. I will say this, and I will say this wholeheartedly. In a lot of ways, I think it was beneficial for me because it took me back to a time where, contrary, I know it's probably going to be for some of you that are younger than me, you probably can't imagine an era where there wasn't some type of social media around. But there was. And that was in the 90s. In the 90s, there was a time when social media was not a prevalent thing. And that's the time that I grew up in. And it took me back to that. Now, when I think about that, and I think about the relaxation, the easiness, the relaxed, not having to be pressured to worry about content, I'll be honest with you, I was pretty much at peace, and I was pretty much excited to have a moment of fresh air and a breath, to have a break. Because let's be honest, folks, when you are doing your 24 hours that you are blessed with every day, and if you run a business, or if you are doing something for somebody else's brand, or any type of situation that you're in where you're trying to put yourself in a position to be better, at some point you are going to think about social media marketing and social media content to push yourself forward. And I'm sitting over here thinking about that and how I grew up and how things have become. And I'm like, oh my God, like we are now a society that now depends on social media. We are now a society that literally has to think about social media within the infrastructure. There used to be a time businesses were not thinking about social media. I know it seems crazy to some of you that are younger, but there was a time social media was the last thing anybody was thinking about in terms of growing their brand. And that's a fact. So the way I look at it with this and the way things are going down is when that happened, I heard and could feel panic. But for me, I was relaxed because I was like, finally, I have a break. Finally, I feel like that I don't have to be pressured to, sit over here, worry about social media, and sit over here and worry about, oh my God, the next thing here. What do I do here? What is this happening? What can I do over here? How can I be better? What are some things I can figure out? You know what I mean? This is one of those things where instead of me panicking, and maybe it's because I have a small following, maybe it's because I don't have a lot riding on social media, that I'm able to relax. But there are other people that make thousands upon thousands of dollars via their social media. They get paid through sponsorships by them posting on their social media. And the reality of the situation is that we are in a society where people worship social media more than they worship the God they serve. Or for some of you that don't believe in God, you know, social media is your religion. That's what it's become. We have become so fixated on appearances, comments, what other people think at times. How many likes did it get? How many comments did it get? We've become so addicted to that we sit over here and we panic when that has been taken away. We panic when we're not getting that instant gratification. We panic because we know how much money is potentially going to be lost. We panic. And I'm not poking fun at nobody. I'm not targeting nobody. I'm not sitting over here gaslighting anyone. But I will say this. It is very, very interesting to think to yourself, what would happen if Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp shut down for good? People have business connections off Facebook. You want to know when I first felt this shutdown, what I was thinking about mine? The amount of business contacts that I have and I'm potentially losing great business relationships. If I don't have their number in my phone, I don't know if I'm able to get a hold of these people. Now think about that. That can be scary for a lot of people. Why? Because that is a potential lucrative business contact that I need that I don't have anymore. And we built a relationship through social media. Now think about it this way. Now you have a situation where you feel kind of like a sense of loss because social media allowed you to reconnect with that friend at a faster rate. Sometimes even with the standard text or call if you don't have their number, but you have them on Facebook so you can get a hold to them faster. That is lost if another shutdown was to happen. So now, with all this going on, we are now at the realization, and I think it's always been a realization, but especially after this shutdown, that social media has become a necessity. Social media has become a fabric of Americana. Social media has become a way to do business. It has become a key infrastructure in America. But here's the problem and the issue. It can be manipulated. Everybody is talking about the 60-minute interview with the whistleblower that showed up. I don't have her name in front of me, but she talked about the algorithm pushing certain content to get people riled up and to get people emotionally invested to stay more on the application. That happens. Don't believe me? Look at what happened these past couple of elections. We have to ask ourselves, what infrastructure can I build? And what contacts can I keep that's going to keep me and my connections tight if this was to ever happen again, that is something that needs to be discussed. We don't discuss that because we are so used to social media, compliant with social media, and hey, I need to get some stuff done. I need to work on this. I need to fix this. I'm gonna use social media. I'm gonna put all my connections in there. Whole time that's data on somebody else's platform. Where's your data? You have clients that sometimes strictly you are on Facebook. Strictly. You have to come up with a strategy to move your clientele, move your friends, or whatever, whoever you're connected with, that's on whatever type of tier level, onto your own contact form. Create your own CRM. Create your own database. So if this situation was to happen again and you have a brand, you can send out an email blast. You can contact their phone number. If you got addresses, that's great. But this particular shutdown has forced people to consider, in the event that my social media platform is taken down by a total shutdown, and let's say the worst thing that happens is it never comes back. Because that's another rumor I heard. And I'm glad it didn't get to that point. Was that it was shut down and gone for good. Let's hypothetically say that those apps shut down for good. Zuckerberg has lost $6 billion due to the time frame of that shutdown. $6 billion. That's a lot of bees, bro. That's a lot of money. You can imagine how much he's making a minute, a day, a week. There's millions of users on this app. Across these apps, I'll be honest with you, there's millions and millions of people that use these applications. So now I'm sitting over here thinking to myself, is that too much power for one man to have? Potentially. If it was to fall into the wrong hands, potentially. Social media is the new sanctuary where the likes and comments and shares are worshipped. It's just what it is. And you have to really navigate as to how you're going to handle it. Because the reality of the situation is that you and myself didn't create these platforms. When we put up content or this content we want to see, we have to basically figure out, battle, or sometimes get around an algorithm. And sometimes the algorithm will play on your interest and also what you emotionally don't like. And a lot of users need to figure out if they want to be the puppet or the puppeteer when it comes to social media. And if you're not careful, you can find out or find yourself being the puppet. I sit over here, and for those of you who are watching me on social media right now, we use this vehicle to promote our brands, to promote our message. And I know sometimes it can be disheartening because you don't know if it's getting out there because of the algorithm. And you have to figure out the algorithm part. This is something that a lot of content creators have to face. And you have to figure out strategies for engagement. Let me be perfectly clear to you guys. We have seen evidences of how people work and how people maneuver and how people figure things out. We've seen it. But it's not an easy thing, and you have to be consistent. And that's even something that I've struggled with, is being consistent. Even with this year, it is a struggle to bring you these episodes sometime. Because sometimes you're in your own head. You don't know if the content's going to be good enough. You don't know what you're going to say is going to be good enough. You don't know if people are going to come back and listen. All of these things that you deal with. Now, add that on top of the social media branding that you may need to worry about, because right now you don't have a team. You're trying to figure the infrastructure out. Right now you don't have a team. So now all of that is on your shoulders, especially if you're spearheading a brand. And guys, I'm going to tell you a little tidbit. There's nothing wrong with delegating. There is absolutely nothing wrong with delegating, and I think that's what you guys need to do, is delegate people for those specific roles. Find the talent that you need to find and do delegation. You cannot do this branding stuff by yourself. You cannot do this marketing stuff by yourself. You have to do your due diligence, have proper discernment, but also understand that I can only go so far by myself. I need to get people in here that know what they're doing. And in social media, it's the same way. Social media can be a good, useful tool. We've seen it happen a bunch of times for people, millions of times for people. But it also can be used in a negative light. And people have chosen a side and have stuck there, regardless if it's right or wrong. They've chosen a side and it's stuck there. The problem is when you have people, button pushers, influencers, messing with the algorithm to promote an agenda that does not necessarily agree with everyone. Or should I say, that's divisive in nature. That infringes upon the mental health or the emotional construct that people deal with. That's when it gets hairy. But then again, regular news has done that for hundreds of years. In their own way. Now, in each era, it's been different, presented different, verbalized different. It's sugar-coated a little bit differently in each decade. But now, and I'm going to be honest, giving the unmitigated raw tea to people is what's going to sell. That is what's happening. That is what's selling stuff. That is what's pushing things. And these news outlets and these people within these social media constructs, with the people that are in these CEO positions, executive positions in these companies, this is what they know. They study every human based on the algorithm and based on how you interact with that algorithm. And they push content that they think you're going to like. And sometimes they're accurate, but sometimes it gets to be a bit much when they are pushing emotional stuff, because it's going to get you riled up. And when they take a look, I mean, let's be honest, folks, they taking a look at the comments, likes. Let me tell you something, bruh. I used to comment on things I didn't like. I used to do that until I realized you are literally propelling their platform forward by giving them engagement. They don't care if the comments, some people, they don't care if the comments are positive, negative, as long as it's getting an engagement, it's getting seen by more people. That is why, like I said on the last episode, you have a lot of people doing the troll method. Why? Because the trolling method gets you seen, gets you famous. People talk about your antics. And it doesn't matter if you're a music artist or it doesn't matter if you're an athlete. It doesn't matter if you're a YouTuber. If you troll hard enough, that's what this era has become. And I'm be honest with you, I disagree with the whole trolling approach. If you do those things, depending on who you are, you might have a shot at being famous. Me, myself, personally, I do not like the trolling method. I come on this show as me. This is what you're getting. Me talking, me being me. I'm not sitting over here trying to be like everybody else. I'm not sitting over here trying to fake the funk and be a total gimmick. I'm not sitting over here trying to, do a whole bunch of shenanigans to get a whole bunch of likes, comments, and tell you to subscribe. No. I'm on here trying to have heartfelt questions and topics and discussions on what's going on in pop culture that's affecting us as a people, mentally, spiritually, and physically, that we need to pay attention to, correct, and also be adhered to so we can learn how to get better. But that's not popular. And in my life, I've never been the most popular person, so I can deal with that. But the trolling thing is what's in. What I'm doing and my approach and who I am as a person may not be popular to a lot of people. And I have to be willing to accept that. Just like you have to be willing to accept that. Let me tell you something, bro. The wide road is easy to just troll, do antics, and get famous and get hot. The narrow road is to be authentic, to be you, to stay true to who you are, to not become a parody of yourself, to stand up on your own 2 feet and be like, hey, this is who I am, this is my approach. If you like it, I appreciate you. If you don't, I appreciate you. You don't have to be around. Do you want to know why it is hard for people on social media to be genuine? Because a lot of the outlets on social media taught them that the only way to be successful is to either be a parody of yourself, troll, hurt others, or pull off some wild shenanigans that you shouldn't be pulling off that's daggone near illegal. You try to be somebody like me, they put out this aura like, well, that's not cool enough. Some stuff really don't change under the sun. What social media sometimes becomes, and even when you're on other social media platforms like Clubhouse and other places, sometimes there's always going to be grown adults that still want to sit at the cool kids table because they never got that when they were kids. Say it again. The problem on social media is sometimes you have insecure people doing everything possible to be accepted by who they think are cool kids because they never got that acceptance in real life. That is another big problem. It's dangerous. It's scary because nobody should have to deal with that. But the reality of the situation is that people do. That's the reality of the situation, folks. I wish people could really understand how important they are, how much their uniqueness should be cherished, it should be honored, it should be protected, but a lot of people don't understand that. They have to see that within themselves. And another aspect of that is people will see that type of person and take advantage of them. All of this stuff has been happening on social media for our audience to see and take delight in or be horrified by. Either way, it's getting engagement, it's getting likes, it's getting clicks. Screw what you want to see. We want to tap into your emotions. We want to make you so emotionally mad that you're going to be engaged with this post, and this is going to pull us forward so we can get more revenue, more streams, more likes, more comments, and move forward. We're going to create a bunch of our moments. Forget what you think. This is me. Those couple of seconds that I just said that, that's me talking like some soulless guy behind a keyboard at one of these big social media companies that really doesn't care about the people. What I'm noticing now in this day and age, all of this was a perfect example of who is putting the profit over people and who is putting the people over profit. And it ain't gonna take that long to figure out who is doing what. You can stand on a hill and try to convince me that you're not that type person. And if you're not that type person, totally fine. God bless you. We appreciate you. But there are some people that are like that. There are some people that don't have a problem getting their stuff off that way. And I will say this to you. You can do that. This is a free country. But you are not exempt from the consequences and the repercussions that comes with going down that road. You're not exempt. There have been a lot of arrogant CEOs, bosses, managers, supervisors that acted like their crap didn't stink until the pandemic hit. Guess who's walking around humbled? And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people are not going to put up with what they put up with pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, people are trying to start their own businesses. People are not dealing with being underpaid and undervalued and underappreciated, especially if they're skilled at something. People are not going to go through that. People are not going to put up with social media doing these manipulative things. Because at the end of the day, and I'm going to wrap this particular topic up by saying this, the people still have the power to a point. Without users, the advertisers will bow out because there's no users on that app. So what do you think is going to happen if everybody just got sick and tired and was like, and I know this is a long shot, but if a majority of people got sick and tired of social media the way that it is and was like, you know what? I'm done. And they just leave. They leave to go on another social media platform that's going to pay them what they're worth. Because now you have content creators and creatives sharing the information. It's not kept under the tuck. And if you're not going to value me, appreciate me, and just be honest and genuine with me, all you're going to do is manipulate me, then what is the point of me staying here or talking to you? I'll go elsewhere. Or I'll figure out another route. Like I said it, and I'll say it again. You can do all of this. You want to put profit over people, that's fine. You want to manipulate people through social media ads and targeting people because you know they follow this particular politician or they follow this particular group, and you want to put something that's anti this to get them riled up, to get them engaging on content, you want to do that, that's fine. But you are playing with people's emotions, and whatever repercussions come with that, that is on the hands of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, or any other social media platform that plays those games. All of them do. Some of them just don't get called out. It just happens to be those three apps' turn. Twitter probably does the same thing. We don't know. But I will say this, man. I will say this, and I will be very precise about this. We are now dealing with a president that has taken away billions of dollars to HBCUs, decriminalizing fentanyl, allowing vaccine mandates that is stripping away the freedom, in my opinion, of Americans, forcing people to take it to the point where if they don't take this vaccine, they can't work at their profession. On top of that, you have not canceled any student loan debt whatsoever. And then the sloppy transition of getting troops out of Afghanistan on top of everything else. And then to add that the George Floyd Act still has not been passed. Let's be clear, folks. In my personal opinion, the only reason why I think this particular president got in is because of the hatred and the visceral hate towards Donald Trump. I'm not a big fan of either of these guys. I don't trust Democrats or Republicans. Y'all take that comment how you want to take it. But I'm always going to speak people over profit. And I'm going to be honest. I'm disappointed in him and his administration. And I don't see myself giving him another 4-year term. I don't think you should either. Now, if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to. I'm not doing that over here. I never ever talk about who I'm voting for, but after what I've seen, I'm not voting for him. I will always vote. I will always vote who I think has my best interest. I don't think this guy has my best interest at heart. And what this administration is doing and infringing on the freedoms of people and also throwing weight around in a lot of ways and not listening to the people. And then guzzling money away from people that need it. It's disheartening. It's very disheartening. And what I don't understand is there's some people that aren't speaking out about the gross things that this dude is doing. Or should I say not doing? So you mean to tell me that you agree with everything he's doing? On this show, anything that we didn't like about what Donald Trump was doing, we openly talked about it as cathartically and as diplomatically as we could. We got to give him the same energy. Y'all keep giving these politicians a rope, plenty of slack for them to turn around and hang you. And for what? And I don't care if you're Democratic or Republican. I don't care what party you're affiliated with. At some point, when are we going to stop giving these politicians that come in and say they're going to do this and that and they don't do squat? When are we going to hold these people accountable? I know what some people are thinking. Well, Everett, it's a system in place. They're going to do whatever they're going to do, and that's how it is. And you're just going to have to... No, fam. If a bunch of people got together, didn't like what Donald Trump was doing, and voted him out, we can do the same thing for this cat. It's disheartening, man. I get sick and tired of us as American citizens be played with, manipulated, cast aside, ignored, lied to, hoodwinked, bamboozled, have our emotions played with from a race standpoint, from a gender standpoint, from an orientation standpoint, from a zip code standpoint, from a nationality standpoint, from a regional standpoint, from a religious standpoint. And they do this to y'all every single year. And don't nobody say nothing? Democrats? You mean to tell me, after everything I just listed down, that he is not done properly? It is an eyesore. If I'm seeing it, and I'm not the most politically correct person, if I'm seeing it, you telling me you're not a little bit disappointed or upset something? Ain't you tired of that? The most recent thing that I saw, HBCU funds went from having double-digit $1 billion of funding to now $2 billion. $2 billion? Where did that money go? Millions of dollars shipped to Afghanistan for what? For what? Why are we giving them that? I want receipts. I want articles. I want to know. I just want to stay in the know. Why is that being given out? That's confusing to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why is that being given out? We had so much visceral hatred. And don't get me wrong, he was annoying too. I didn't like him either. We had so much visceral hatred for 45 that you ain't gonna keep that same energy for 46 when he does dumb stuff? And if you notice, the vice president of this country been a little quiet. Before the election, we want to give immigrants a chance to come over here and be welcome, to be treated properly and do stuff like that. Now they're talking about we don't want y'all over here. This is why I don't trust either party. Because everybody says what they're going to do until it's time to do it. Stop lying to us. If you're not going to do something, just say you're not going to do something. Don't keep lying to me. I'm too old to be lied to. I'm tired of this cat and mouse game to get moral stuff done with a proper use of ethics. I'm tired of it. And you should be too. How many more times y'all want to be lied to, man? How many times y'all want to be hoodwinked, bamboozled, man? How many times you want to go through that? Because I don't want to go through that many times. It's ridiculous. And somebody's got to say something about it. Or we're going to keep on going through the same stuff over and over again. Latinos, y'all know what's up now. African Americans, y'all been know what's up now. Caucasian brothers that got sense and stand with us on these issues, y'all know what's up now. To the people within the LGBTQ community, do you see why people are upset with this president or not? You kind of get it now, you should. Truth be told, I think they're doing y'all a disservice too. You got these people that will turn around and they will sit over there and they will use your sign, your flag, as a corporate tool for sales, but they ain't gonna hire you. They ain't gonna give you employment. But every June, their icon has that rainbow in it. Before you give them praise, check if they hiring people within your community. Check if they outside really giving resources to your community before you give them praise. My little tidbit to y'all. I just want y'all to have that. I'm sick and tired of people, regardless of whatever side of the spectrum you come from. I'm tired of us being lied to. It's ridiculous. And at the end of the day, it's going to take all of us that's not ignorant, bitter, or stupid to hold these people accountable. I'm not asking to do this in a radical riot way. We have more common sense and poise than that, unlike the people that's decided to riot the Capitol this past January. We have more class than that. And I think it's time that we need to be heard. So, with that being said, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. I want to thank you guys for listening to me. I'm riding solo today, but I appreciate you guys for taking 40 minutes out of your time to listen to what I have to say. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, watching this on other social media platforms, I appreciate you. For those of you who are listening to this on other podcast platforms, I appreciate you as well. Make sure that you check in with us throughout the month of October. We are going to be doing 2 episodes per week on Thursdays and on Sundays from here on in, just to fill up the break from September. And then we will reconvene in November to see if we're going to do the 2 episodes per week in November. So that's what we plan on doing. Until next time, everybody, y'all take care now. I'll see you later.